see or let's say to get to be on an e-session with you and just discuss about, let's say, crucial issues that people face whilst transitioning or as entry-level enthusiasts. So let me just pull up my slides and then we would start. Just give me a moment and we would be good to go. All right, awesome. So can we clarify that we can hear me clearly, hear and see me clearly? So this would be Azizat, Henry, Mike, Oluwakemi, Peter, Atoma, Tofa, and yeah, I have another Peter. So hi, welcome to today's session. Yeah, so when I saw this topic, I just made me realize all of the conversations that I have had with prospective enthusiasts that want to climb up the ladder of their proficiency as regards all strategies that they can utilize in getting better and all of this conversation of, oh, okay, I've done this, I know how to use this particular tool, I know how to do this, I know how to do this, but why am I not still at that expected level? Or why have I not gotten to that range in my career or that target of being like a 21st century professional? All right. So before we get all serious, I just want to know the demographic of persons that we have. So if you could indulge me and send in the chat your current skill level, or are you like more into data analytics, data science, data engineering, business analysis, project management, software engineering, or any of those other tech career paths that we have. So I just want you to, yes, I know we want to learn something absolutely valuable in today's session, but I would really want to know the persons that we have on the call. So Peter, Mike, Oluwakemi, uh, let's see, Henry, Azizat, yeah, can we drop in the chat where you're joining in from, and then I'll just pick it up from there and proceed. So I would also need the career path that you are currently involved in, okay? Because this session is titled towards elevating your employability skills, your skills inclusive of your presentation skills, your communication skills, all of these skills that would be crucial to your own growth as a professional. So can I get a reaction if we are still winning? Can I get a reaction, please? Oh, awesome. Thank you very much. So I'll just move to my slide. So yes, this session is led by Amdari. All right, so if this is your very first time joining Amdari, so I can see Oluwakemi's response in the chat as regards project management. So welcome you. I believe you've learned something valuable because I always say for you to dedicate your time or click on a link to join a masterclass session, it means that yourself you are dedicated towards growth. So coming back to my explanation of what our purpose here at Amdari is, right? So we have a lot of persons that, let's say you've done a course in data analytics or project management or business analysis. You've gone through, like YouTube is your best friend, or you've taken a program on Coursera, Data Camp, or all of those popular e-learning platforms. But the amount of skills that you have when you compare it with what is expected as industry standards in terms of your exposure to different, let's say, data sets, different business challenges or problems that industries face in their day-to-day life. There's a discrepancy, there's that gap. All right. So what Amdari simply does, this is like the, let's say, simplistic explanation of our mission here at Amdari. It's to close that gap between your knowledge and then what is expected. And we do this via a project-based experience. So yes, you have learned project management, you have learned business analysis, or any other kind of tech career path listed on my screen, but you want to gain technical competency, you want to come up to par with what is expected. All you need to do is sign up with us and you would be good to go. So welcome once again. I would also be proceeding to my next slide. So this is myself. I am Braimah. and I lead the internship experience here at Amdari. I am a data scientist, and I have experience across geosemantics, natural language processing, AI engineering, and all of those scenarios. Okay. But right now, like I mentioned, these are like issues that I kind of faced when I was coming up in my own journey as a data scientist, right? So you would either use the Titanic or the breast cancer or the iris flower. I don't know if there's any data scientists on the call that did that project. That was all we had on our portfolio. Okay, so it's because of all of these issues, all of these gaps in knowledge, right? You know how to use the tools, but exposure to different organizations, that's how Amdari was vetted, or that's the problem that Amdari is solving. Okay, so it's nice to meet you this evening, and I believe that by the end of this call, you will gain something absolutely valuable. So I'm just going to move on to my next slide, and we will jump right into the session. So basically, we'll be starting off with employability and presentation skills with Amdari's Rave, your pathway to striving as a tech professional. We talk about the Amdari work experience, and yeah, we'll just basically highlight our special offer that the Amdari team has for you today. So can I get a reaction to know that we are good to go? Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Or should I use the can you hear me? Can you hear me? Awesome. Okay, thank you so much for your responses. I'll just be moving to my next slide. Now, there's this simplistic, there's this thing, if you are around like age people a lot, or if you listen to old people a lot, they'll tell you that there's beauty in simplicity, right? That most of the, like, the complex or technological concepts, when you look at the true core identity, it's just a simple principle. Now, relating this to what is on my slide, have you seen this formula? C plus E is equal to J. Can somebody on the call just type it in the chat? Have you ever seen this formula? Or you could use the reaction button. I just want to understand, have we ever seen this formula? C plus E is equal to J. What does T and E even mean? Hello, can we hear me clearly? I believe we can hear me clearly. So I would want us to respond to this. Have we ever seen this formula? All right. So I'll just proceed to my next slide. So if you have not, that's the reason why you're on this call, and you will be getting an overview. Okay. And I always recommend that I just need you to listen. Okay, like I mentioned, you taking out time on it. This is a Friday night. Okay, you taking out time on a Friday night to join a session absolutely means that you want to achieve a certain amount of value, right, and of skill. So I just need you to focus, listen. The slides for this session, the materials, the recording, everything will be sent to your emails. All you need to do is fill the attendance form that a colleague of mine is sending to the chat. And we have like an exclusive job offer scenario that will be sending to your emails only if you fill the attendance form that we are sending to the chat. Now, coming back to my slide. So if you have not seen this formula before, it's honestly simple, right? In some way, it just means your tech experience, your technical skills and experience, plus your employability skills is what will land you that job offer. I use the analogy of basic things, or let's say the grand scope of things in life, right? If you look at the core of that, you realize that it's just like an exchange, right? You exchange your value for money, you exchange this for this. So this is just it. You cannot, or I can argue that you cannot have technical skills and experience, and you are employable and you have the full package, yet you do not have a job. I would argue that then we know there's absolutely something that you're not doing right. There's a gap somewhere. And in this session, we want to just identify some of those gaps, because whichever spectrum that you fall into, either you have technical skills, but you don't have employability skills, or you have employability skills, but you don't have technical skills and experience, For you to absolutely thrive in this, will I say, this scenario or the context of the work industry that is evolving, you need to find a balance. That balance has to be there. Okay, so like I mentioned, I have the privilege of speaking to a lot of persons that are either in their mid 30s or above, or at different stages of their careers with different experiences. I always recommend, once you understand that the core requirement is for you to satisfy both domains, you might not be absolutely 100% at both scenarios, but you have to strive to have a balance. So when you are talking about your stuff, or somebody somewhere can just say, oh, I know this person does this and the person is good. Why? Because for the person to even know that you have this skill set, it means that you're employable. There were scenarios whereby they had to see stuff that you did, or let's say if it's a data analyst or data scientist, dashboards or reports that you created. All right, so let me just proceed to my flight. And yeah, I don't want us to take so much time on the call because it's a Friday. So moving to my next slide. Again, highlighting the common mistake that a lot of persons, trust me, I went through that phase. Okay, because I started off with just Excel. I took like, there's this particular course on Coursera, right? I took all of the specializations, right, in the Excel before now moving on to, I think I learned Tableau and Power BI before moving on to the almighty Python. Sometimes as tech professionals, we are absolutely way too focused on, oh, I need to learn this too. I don't know how to learn this stuff. I don't know how to use it. Or there's a new module, right? There's a new package that was launched or that was updated in this library. Or there's a new API that I need to try. Or there's a new model that we need to go and read the documentation and see how they did it and blah, 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 blah. And you'll be surprised that when you go to some organizations, what they utilize or the entire process flow is just centered around something so simplistic. But you are way so focused on getting the technical aspects of things that on the other side of the employability, you're failing. Now, don't not get me wrong, not get me wrong. You knowing your onions is absolutely is 100% necessary. All right. So don't be of the opinion that, oh, you were on a call with Braimah from Amdari and she mentioned that you don't need to be technically good, because if, let's say, you're employable, right? You have all of the physical attributes in terms of how you talk, in terms of how you present, in terms of how you can simplify problems, and you're onboarded on my team, okay? And I give you a task, a simple task in Microsoft Excel, and you cannot do that. Trust me, I am kicking you out, right? Yes, I am that serious. Yes, I might give you like, let's say, let me just give you a three query scenario, right? Let's see if you would go and do your own research and improve. But if I notice that this is consistent, every organization wants value. That's just the truth. I will not bring you to my team and then you would be causing unnecessary stress instead of it to be contributing to our whole goal. So coming back to the point that I am driving, yes, as tech professionals, it is necessary for you to know your Looker Studio, your Power BI, your Python, your Excel, your Tableau, your R, or any other tool that is niche to your domain, but do not negate the other side of things. All right. So coming back to my slides, you need to find that balance. If you are, recall I mentioned the earlier formula is your technical skills and experience and you being employable, right? It's just as if, let's say you go to Walmart or let's say any supermarket, and then, right, there's this package that they probably just launched in a new role, or when they have like a new product, they have these flyers and publicity and banners around it and might do discounts and stuff like that. But if it is not appealing, right, the entire package does not look appealing, there's nothing that would stimulate an emotion within you that would want you to purchase it. But if you look at, or the owners of the products, when they look at what they created, it is healthy, it is on point, it would probably give you the value for your money. But because when you look at it at first glance, at first instance, in your interaction, just looking, right, you cannot find the value. It's the same way that you can be so good. I always use this phrase. You can be so absolutely good at what you do, and literally nobody knows that you exist. The same way that that package can be so healthy, can be in terms of the nutritional values to, let's say, the person that's taking it can be on point, but because at first glance we don't see the value, or it is not presented in a good way or attractive way, all right, then it's now classified as mid or average. Now, you can reflect this or just compare it to your current status. You know yourself, you know this phrase, man, know thyself, right? I am meeting you probably for the first time on this call, and we probably will not meet physically, or let's say another masterclass session, right? But you know that, oh, I know this too, but on the employability side of things, right? On in terms of how I communicate what I know, in terms of how I would say, going back to the earlier analogy I used, in terms of the package, it is not really there. Again, you need to find that balance. Do not have or do not ensure that you knowing the tool is so good, it's so high, like you can see on my screen, it's so high at, let's say, 85%. And then on the employability side of things, this is what, 20 or even less than. All right. So when you get this slides, you can click on this link and read up the research, because it's always necessary to back up what you're saying with facts. So that's why this is included here. So 85% of career success comes from soft skills. Okay, so naturally, every individual wants to progress in their career. Okay, you don't want to be stagnant. If you notice in your own organizations or places where you've worked, there are specific persons, right? Even if they don't know the processes very well, but because of this soft skill side of things, because of how employable they are, how when you speak to them, they can contribute meaningful conversations, okay, to what you are or what you are trying to get, or your values and all of that, they place more emphasis on them compared to the guy that does the groundwork but is so good but doesn't really know how to speak. Okay, most times I like relating it to our everyday life, because sometimes we think that, oh, work is just on one aspect, right? It is separated from your normal life. But looking at it critically is just the attributes or the values that you yourself as a human being portray that would be reflected in your day-to-day activities in your job. Now, coming back, I mentioned strive to find the balance. It's not going to be easy. That's just the truth, right? Life itself is a struggle, but you know that it's just, you have to proceed regardless. So, coming back, employers want candidates who can what? Communicate, collaborate, and solve problems, right? So, technical skills alone, especially if you're working in a domain that you have to interact with people, right? Your data analyst, your business, anything centered around data, or even your project managers, right? You will be responsible for people. So you should know how to communicate with them and ensure that, oh, okay, when it's time from your sprint reviews or when you're meeting with your stakeholders and everything, it is on point. So I want you to, if that's what you can take from this session, okay, yes, it is necessary for you to focus on your technical side. That's absolutely good. As I have reiterated at the beginning of this call, but I would need you to look at those aspects of your life where you know, oh, am I still timid? Do I speak up when I have valuable opinions that would accelerate a particular process in my organization? Do I do this? Do I do this? Okay. Again, this is what would make you be an outlier from the pool of persons that we have. Now, coming back, like I mentioned, you need to find that balance. And you can see the, let's say, the pictorial visual that I gave, okay, it's not going to be the same, right? For you to be 100% at both, it means that you have done so consistently. But whatsoever phase you are currently, you need to strike a balance to ensure that my employability side of things and the technical side of things are what are on point. So before I proceed, guys, are we still here with me? Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Are we here on the call? Hello, hello, hello. I need a reaction. I just need a reaction from us to confirm that you're currently here. Awesome. So thank you very much, Subi. Thank you. Ogaga, thank you, Ike Service. And yeah, so I will just be proceeding to my next slide. Awesome. Thank you very much, Oluwakemi. Now, skills you must have in your arsenal. Guys, again, like I have mentioned, if this is what you can take from this meeting, right, I would be absolutely, 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 would I say, glad that you learned something because I have seen this occur over and over again. Giving this example, if you are in an organization or even at the phase of, let's say, the interview session, okay, and they ask you a question, let's say you've answered, and then you don't ask questions regarding what you do, because most times during our interview preparation sessions we tell you, do a research, identify a problem that these guys are facing, or even if you cannot find the problem, do like a competitor benchmark analysis, right? If they are in, let's say, the health sector, find another company in that health sector, in that line, and try to see that if there's something that is different that you can use to give yourself an edge during your interview session. That's you being curious and you trying to put yourself or put yourself out there and stand out when you're talking to an employer. It's more like, oh, this is the only person that asked the question relating to this. So you would strike a good impression. Now, another point that I have listed on my screen, problem solving. You would not know how to solve problems if you've not experienced a lot of problems. That's just the truth. All right. I used to say that the entire cycle of life is recycled, actually. You know, there's a phrase that says, oh, what had happened, let's say, 100 years ago, is just now repeating in a more technologically advanced way. Okay. So coming back to my slide, problem solving, you need to have encountered different scenarios that you deployed your skills as a professional in whichever domain that you were in, and you were able to get a solution. Because if I have a new problem in my organization, what I need to do is, because again, because I have had previous experiences, and from those experiences, there were lessons learned, I can also now draw that, oh, when I went to this place and I tried this, it did not work. It means in relating to this problem, I should not even look in that domain, or this person is not going to help me at all. Now, coming to the next slide, the next point rather, effective communication. Trust me, you cannot, like, is the word over emphasize or underemphasize that. I don't know the right one at this point, but I need you to understand that you being quiet is doing you more harm than good. I am being practically honest with you, especially if you are in the tech industry. Yes, there are some developers that will just, you don't really need to interact with your project manager or BA or any of the POs and all of that. You will just be in communication with, let's say, your AI team or your development team. But in that team, you need to be able, or you need to communicate effectively. There should be that exchange of information that if I have a bug, I can communicate to my leads that, oh, this is what I am facing. Can you help me? Can you assist? So you would now draw from that own experience. Even as a, let's say, data analyst or data scientist or data or business analyst or any of the data centered roles, you've done your analysis, you have your insights, your visualization, they are on point, they are fine and good. But it's time to, let's say, you have your quarterly review meeting, and then you have all of the C-level executives, the MD, the assistants, the board members, and you cannot effectively communicate. Come on, that is just a no-no. That would not just be an embarrassment to yourself, but also your team, because of the hard work that you guys have put into compiling all of those reports, your surveys, your data analysis, your cleaning. So it is necessary for you to practice, right, communication, and it starts from your environment. Do not wait till there's one big gathering, right, that you now raise up your hand and say that is when you start developing your communication. Not at all. It starts from your environment. Do you speak? Do you talk clearly? or are you very, very nuanced in what you're saying so the receiver, right, clearly understands? Now, guys, I just want us, I've been putting some messages in the chat. I just need you to fill the attendance form, the slides, the recording, and then the exclusive job information that will be sending from Amdari goes to your email. We just need you to listen and you will be good to go. Now, the next point on my screen is in terms of adaptability. This guy here, because we are in a very, very evolving world. You can wake up tomorrow and see that, especially if you're in data science or let's say you're in AI, right? There's a new innovation that you need to go and learn about. So if you wake up tomorrow and your boss comes and says, "Oh, we've been using this structure, but I have seen that persons have utilized this other approach, and I want us to integrate it in all of our processes across all of the departments moving forward." You should be able to adjust to that. And there's this popular saying that if you're African, it means you can survive anywhere because of the will I say the how you grew up and all of the challenges. But regardless, coming back to my slides, you need to be subject to change. So if there's a change or there's a disruption of the structure that you have previously been accustomed to, can you blend in? Are you good to go, or we need to come and hire external persons to do orientation for the team and integrate you? Yeah, it's good if you don't have the technical know-how and then they're not bringing guys, right, top guys to come and train your team and yourself. But in terms of your mindset, your approach to acceptance, that's extremely important. Now, the last point, and also very, very important point, is teamwork. Okay, except if you are the only developer in a project, or even if you are the only data analyst in the entire company, or a business analyst, there's no how you would not interact with people, except if you are the CEO, the data analyst, the data engineer, the developer, you're the owner of the company yourself. But even if you own the company, it means you're offering value to customers, right? Customers are people. Yes, they are on the customer side of things, but they are in a broader scope part of a team that would give you value or monetary remunerations for your organization or for the product that you're selling. So again, you need to have that mindset of, oh, okay, I am working towards a goal. I need to ensure that my actions are contributing towards this goal. Like I mentioned, it's a system of man know thyself. I do not know you. I do not know your attributes or how you relate or interact with people. If you're already doing this, that's fine and good. If you're not, again, you just have to critically reevaluate that. Oh, I know that I am good at this. I know that I am good at this. But in terms of teamwork, it is not there. In terms of paying attention to details, this is critical, especially during data analysis or during your exploration. Okay, if you are not paying attention to details and you're just saying, oh, let's let's move on, right? So that would be extremely bad. Sorry, can you hear me now? Oh my goodness. All right, thank you very much. I think I had there's a section on my PC. All right, so coming back to what I was explaining, guys, apologies for that break. Now, moving to my next slide, the entire aspect of this program or this call was centered around, oh, okay, how you can get your presentation and your employability skills leveraging Amdari. So there's something that, or there's a strategy that Amdari utilizes that would help you strike that balance or find that, even if it's not 100%, but you can get at least, oh, let's say on an average, a 50-50 scenario, and you would be good to go. Okay? Like I mentioned, yes, the technical side of things is awesome, but in terms of the employability side, you need to be on point also. Now, guys, how does Amdari do this? I need you to follow me closely. There's something that we call the Remote Apprenticeship Virtual Experience Program here at Amdari. And this program is centered towards finding an intersection of you getting proficient technically and also on the employability side. Again, I have been reiterating that, oh, you can be so good at what you do. You are the baddest. You can answer all of the lead code questions in your sleep, or you can build multiple dashboards. But if you cannot effectively have all of those skills that I mentioned that are crucial for you to thrive as a professional, if you do not have that, that's going to be a disadvantage for you. So let's see how Amdari does this, or how they find like that blend and would rather help you strike that balance. So moving on to my next slide. Again, like I mentioned, you just need to fill the um, attendance form that is sent to the chat and all of the resources that you need, you would be good to go. So what we do, or the structure that we follow for the remote apprenticeship work experience program here at Amdari is we have business partners, right, that are, let's say, across different industries, and they have specific challenges or problems that they face in their day-to-day activities, in their organization. They have specific activities that they face. So what we do is, because they are our partners, we get those problems, okay? And then we include a certain form of anonymity for data privacy reasons. And then we get those problems and bring them to you. Guys, I just need you to follow me closely. I would have a analogical demo of this so we understand what Amdari exactly is offering. Now we get this project or this business problem, get them to you, and you get to what? You get to work on them. So there are scenarios whereby you have to work with teams or you have to work individually, but it depends on the entire scope of the project that you're working on, or how technical it is. So these business challenges, they are brought to you. That's one. And let's say, for example, it's a project whereby, let's say, for the data science guys, you have a central repository, and then everybody has like an aspect of or a module of the project that they need to work on before making like a central commit and then pull requests and all of that to ensure that it's synchronized. So in that process, after all of your deliberations, your learning and stuff like that, your collaboration with people, you now get to make a presentation of your entire process flow. Guys, I want you to follow me closely. So there's a business problem. That's one. There is the people that you'll be working with, right? In terms of your team members, in terms of let's say stakeholders that you'd have to speak with if you need insights or if you need their feedback as regards what exactly they are facing, if you need clarity. And then there's what? There is the aspect of presentation. Now, guys, on this side, what this would do for you if you go through this process, from you working on the projects to you interacting with your team members to you presenting to stakeholders, is you get the technical competency side of things. Okay, from a high level overview, you'd see that, oh, me addressing a problem. So that's me honing my problem solving skill, right? And then finding a solution to that problem, presenting my solution to the relevant stakeholders, right? It would give you a kind of, like, say, advancement in your knowledge base. And because you've gone through this process, you can now leverage this experience that, oh, during my time at Amdari, I had a particular project whereby we had data sets from a health organization that they were having discrepancies in, let's say, their users or in terms of the patients that were recorded and all of that. And I had to work with a team of 5 persons where we had to critically look at the surveys and analyze, oh, which regions, what are the age gaps or the age brackets, or what locations have these particular attributes that are contributing to like a decline in, let's say, the organization. And you can now effectively speak about that experience. Why? Because you actually worked on that project. All right. So it's not you coming to say, oh, okay, I saw this data somewhere and it's so Titanic and I did my analysis. So trust me, yes, that's nice, but it's not contributing business value that, oh, can you quantify what you did at the end of this project that contributed or that was beneficial to this organization. Again, guys, I want you to follow me closely because we are concentrating on how Amdari solves or finds this balance between what? Between your technical side and the employability side of things. So the reason why you're seeing this portfolio icon and the LinkedIn recommendation side of it is because you can now leverage this project and add it to your own portfolio that you worked on it. And then you can speak about it on LinkedIn that, oh, this is actually what you worked on. And then just write like a post or something that, oh, this was the problem that I encountered. This is the strategy I utilized. This would place you as a thought leader in your domain. Now, moving to my next slide. Guys, this is where we are getting to the employability side of things. From a high level overview, we know that we are working on a project. And because we are working on a project, we are using, let's say, Excel or Python, or let's say Looker for visualization. It means that when we are using that tool, we are going to get more familiar and it would increase our technical competency for that particular tool. But now we forget, or sometimes we, let's say, pay negligence to the employability side. Follow me closely, guys. And I decided to break this into 3 stages so there's like clarity. The first one is there's a problem. Okay, this is the problem that we get from our business partners. Now, there is what? You collaborating with people, interacting with them, okay? And there's the aspect of what? You presenting what? Presenting what you have noticed. Like I mentioned, these are what? These are real life problems that these are partners go through in their everyday scenarios. All right. We are now bringing them to you, right? As a consultant with us, and you're working with your team or you're working with your mentor to ensure that whatsoever the deliverable or the value that is expected at the end of that project cycle is delivered. So, like I mentioned, again, one, let's look at this in 3 stages. Let's look at this and consider the employability side of things that you would have at the end of you going through this project life cycle. Number one, there's a project, there's a problem, there's a business problem. Number two, there are the people that you're working with. And number three, there is the presentation. Now, guys, follow me closely. Let's break this into stages because I'm a very, very visual person. And I believe that when there's like an analogy or something, it will be easy for you to understand. All right, so let me just move on to my next slide and we would be good to go. Now, again, please, do we have any Amaka on this call? Right? If not, guys, this is just an example. I need you to forget about the name Amaka and then just look at, just try to understand what I am communicating. So Amaka would be or is an Igbo name, but regardless, that's not a point. I want you to look at this critically. Now, picture this. Amaka is a data analytics consultant with Amdari and has just finished a project briefing session. So a project briefing session is where we have everybody working on that project. They come and then there's a detailed overview of this is the problem from our partners that they are facing. All right, this is what they want you to do. Or even if there's no clarity in terms of specifics that you would be working on, they have like a broad scope of, oh, we are experiencing something and we want to find a solution. Now, let's see the kind of project, or let's see an overview of the challenge. So she receives a challenge. A startup in Ireland is struggling to understand why their customer churn rate has increased by 27% over the last quarter. Again, she is what? A data analytics consultant with Amdari. Now, her task is to use data to uncover the reasons and recommend actionable strategies to reduce churn. Guys, recall when I broke this into 3 stages. Number one, there's what? There's a problem. Number two, there are the people that will be working on that project or trying to deploy their skills in solving that problem. And number three, there's the aspect of you communicating the insights or whatsoever trends and patterns were unraveled during your analytics phase. Now, coming back to my slide, this same Amaka that is a data analytics consultant. She is absolutely new, right, to a subscription-based sector. See, these guys are coming to say, oh, we have customers, and these customers are what? They're churning. There was an increase in 27%. It means that they are leaving or they're not renewing their subscription. But this is a market that just registered for the data analytics work experience program, and she does not have the experience. Let's look at the aspects of the employability side that she will tick off during this project life cycle. I'm moving to my next slide. What did you see? Even if she doesn't have a previous background in that domain, you do not have a choice. You've been onboarded on that project. I don't know if there are persons that work on contract projects a lot, right? Even if you have no idea, and I kid you not, on the steps you take in integration of that feature that your customer wants or that your client wants, you have to go and do your research, right? It is the client is not, it's not their business. They just want to know that in the next demo, that particular feature they highlighted, they can click on it or they can see that, oh, this team has started working on it. So because you are placed in that environment whereby there is tension, I will not say tension, but you have a deadline for this project, you have to be up and doing, right? You now have to go and do your research. You have to do your, they call this market research. You have to look at previous reports. You would now have to look at, oh, I'm going to read up stuff as regards churn or as regards churn by subscription-based customers. Guys, we have moved on from what? Understanding the problem, or we've moved from the problem to understanding the problem. That is the current phase that this lady is. Now, after the understanding of the problem, there's what the people face. So she moves to a team where there's what? There's like communications, there are deliberations with people, and considering the fact that the other consultants that you'll be working with at Amdari, they are from across the UK, US, France, Canada, Nigeria. There are a lot of persons from different regions, but it depends on the scope of your project. So there are projects whereby in a team there's just like 4 persons or just 2. But because of you have different backgrounds or you have diverse perspectives, you are bringing that to solving the project or the problem, okay, that you've been entrusted to. And you can see when we have people from different backgrounds, based on their own experiences, they can now contribute and say, oh, looking at my slides, should we focus on customer support wait time, or is the product or is the problem issue related? Is pricing driving churn in certain regions, or this has to do with the entire subscription that we are offering, that it's not valuable compared to what other competitors are offering? So guys, I want you to picture this project life cycle that this data analytics consultant with Amdari is working on, and picture the skills. I think that you can already correlate the skill that she would be learning in terms of what? Problem solving. All right. In terms of her being curious enough to go and research on, oh, this is a domain. I don't have a choice. There's a deadline for this project, and I absolutely need to work on it. Right. In terms of teamwork, you're in a team, you have a deadline, you don't have a choice. You also need to communicate with your team members to ensure that, oh, we need to start this work and meet up with the deadline. Now, they eventually reach a consensus with the guidance from their team lead. So this is the advantage that you actually have when you are onboarded at Amdari. So you're not just working on the project alone. So if you've ever been a junior dev in a team, I don't know if there's anybody here, right? There's some bugs that you would have that you spend a lot of time. Then it was on Slack Overflow or what's the other one? But now you can just chat GPT or use another of the AI chat platforms to solve your problem, right? But then again, you'd have to just, if you meet your dev lead, they can just tell you that, oh, this is where you're having this problem. And when you go there and you yourself, you go back and look at your code base, you would see that that was actually the issue. And you're done with that bug. So it's the same way that you have the advantage of having a mentor, right? A specialist that would be assigned to you, that if you have issues, if you have challenges or anything, you can always relate to them that, oh, I've looked at this data, I've looked at the analysis, but I am not seeing anything. So this your mentor would now direct you that, oh, have you considered from this aspect? Have you considered, oh, grouping these guys into particular regions and doing your analysis with them, or what exactly are you not looking at? Guys, we are developing what? Problem solving skills, teamwork, curiosity, paying attention to details. Because you had looked at the data previously, but then you did not see anything. Now, because you've gone ahead to get guidance from your mentor, you can now go back and critically analyze or just look at the previous lessons learned and how they would help you in the next phase of your analysis. So moving on to my next slide so we can wrap up, you see. After resolution, they deploy their analytical skills. Using Power BI, they break down churn by user demographics, subscription types, engagement scores, they build dashboards. Guys, this is just now the aspect of what? Problem solving. They prepare a final solution and present this to their mentors following a structured approach. Again, we've moved on from where? You know, I mentioned three stages at the beginning. There's the problem, there are the people that you'll be working with, and the next aspect would be in terms of your presentation of your findings. And this is where a lot of professionals, trust me, I've had to join sessions of people, oh, after we've had weeks and weeks of meetings for this project, and that person cannot just communicate the simple problem that we've been trying to fix or we've been trying to solve. You don't just start from anywhere. You have to build context when you are communicating with C-level executives because they have other businesses that they're running. Right? Yes, they know the problem, but you need to tell them that, oh, this is exactly what the problem is. All right, you need to go niche and tell them that, oh, you were experiencing this churn because of this, right? Then you go to the task. What were you supposed to do? You were meant to use your skills to unravel why there was churn in this particular region and blah blah blah. What steps did you take? We broke down churn by user demographics, subscription types, engagement scores, and we discovered that that's not your results. We discovered that this contributed to this. And in our analysis, we found that this correlated to this. And we now recommend that because of what the data has shown, okay, you don't just come and present your dashboard and expect everybody to understand. It does not work that way. Okay, even yourself now, let's say when you're now like moving from this call, when you're talking about, let's say, presenting dashboard that you worked on, try to establish context, follow people or let people follow you in a storyline that this is the problem. Okay, this is what we were expected to do. Now, these are the actions that we took, and this is what we got, and this is what we now recommend to the organization that they should be doing. This is what we call the STAR approach. And I want you to indulge me that any kind of presentation or any kind of communication that you'll be involved in moving forward with your executives, with your team lead, I want you to research on how you can strategically leverage the STAR approach. And trust me, you'd see a significant change. Okay? Now, coming back to my slide, still the same Amaka's team, they get what? Feedback. All right? They get feedback. It means that they can now look at, oh, this is the problem that we face. Okay, yes, we did our analysis this way, but it can be what? It can be better. And guys, trust me, you cannot underestimate people that have gone ahead of you. Why? Because these guys have experienced multiple problems before and can now effectively communicate and tell you that, oh, I think you should improve on this phase. I think you should do this because it would be crucial or it would be effective in your analysis. All right. So coming back, we can see that from my example, your data narrative is solid, but can you tie that to expected revenue? Because everybody wants to make money. Okay. Even if, let's say, it's a value or something that they're selling, they want to get good return. So they want to see, oh, how does your analysis measure up with that? Now you have an amazing dashboard, but this is so everywhere. Like some dashboards you see online, right? It's just so everywhere. There's no direction. Can you simplify this? We want to know where our money is. Just give us the analysis. Okay, so they can now say, or their mentors or the stakeholders that they are presenting to can now say, oh, can you show percentages instead of what? Bulk numbers. So guys, in this process of you going through the Amdari project's life cycle, you're what? You're honing your employability skills. Trust me, you cannot go through this project. You have to talk with people, right? I will not say forcefully, right? But you have to intentionally talk with people. You have to research with them. You have to come up with your slides for this presentation. And then you get to an interview session. They will ask you, tell me about a time when you worked on this project and you're not able to communicate. It means that there's something absolutely wrong. All right, because this is more like a rigorous process. You've gone through the problem, you've worked with people, and then you have a presentation. In that presentation, you have been given what? Critics of what you could do better. All right, so guys, before we proceed, are we good? 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 So the question I want to throw to us, again, I mentioned this is just an analogy. If Amaka and her team completes 3 or more projects, right, in this cycle, what do you think will happen? She's now accustomed to what? This process of honing, subconsciously honing what? Right? Her employability side of things. Because in that process, right? In that process, you are now involved, or you're, will I say, invested in trying to find the solution based on the deadline that you're given. And sometimes you not start thinking of, oh, am I laying attention to detail? But you're subconsciously doing that. You're not just paying attention because there's a problem, right? So Amaka is just in simple terms, while she's utilizing the tools, she's refining herself and trying to create or find that balance between the employability side of things and what? And the technical side of things. And guys, this is how this is how Amdari, or this is the structure that Amdari follows to ensure that, oh, you're not just everywhere, right? There's a defined approach for you to get this balance that is necessary for you to thrive as a professional. Okay, so there are questions in the chat, and I would take them, all right, at the end of the session. I just need you to follow me closely so that we wrap up. We are almost done. Now, a high-level overview of the Remote Apprenticeship Virtual Experience Program, that's what we call it, right? You get to work on projects alongside your employability, okay? Alongside honing your CV, is it good? Are you positioning yourself as a thought leader, all right? Your LinkedIn profile, if I go to your LinkedIn profile, will I know that you're a business analyst, or I have a lot of disarranged activities there? So you get access to your mentorship sessions, you get access to your career coaching, you get access to interview preparation sessions, you get access to your job reference and all of that. But guys, before I even proceed, I want to show you a presentation, more like just demo a presentation from the consultants that we have. Let me just share this tab so that we'll see. So let's see, we use data analysis, right? So this is the Google Classroom where we utilize for the experience program. So this is data science. Let's see data analytics. Okay, let's just look at a project presentation that these guys did. Let's see. Oh, awesome. So this is a previous project. Let's see, this is the employability sessions. Oh, yeah, let's look at this. Let me just click on this and let me share this tab. So it's just still loading. Let me share this tab instead. I don't know if we can hear. I just need a reaction if we can hear. Let's see. Oh, this is turned off.
So good evening, everyone. My name is Antonia, and I will be beginning our presentation on behalf of Team 2.
Awesome.
So our presentation is on leveraging social determinants of health, SDOE, to address healthcare disparities.
Let me just go so we don't spend a lot of time.
Disease prevalence in Braimah and Basi. So hospital admissions by disease, malaria, according to our dashboard, it was shown that malaria was consistently showed the highest admission rate. HIV and AIDS varies significantly.
Let's just move forward. Let's see the feedbacks that we're giving to them.
According to the region,
okay, this is another
shows the lowest admission rates across all chronic diseases. Preventative care rates are relatively high, the
Let's see
but they are
the start of the dashboard that they created. I'm trying to get the dashboard, but let's see. So that's one of the specialists that we have. But guys, I just want to point to the aspect of you don't have a choice. Okay,
So
they are positioned
Yeah.
in the environment. Oh, awesome! This is a
17,
dashboard
I
that
think.
was created by
Sorry,
them.
I think it's between 17
And
and 18, but
like
I
I
think it's
mentioned,
17. I'm not
you
certain.
would have to go through a rigorous process. Okay, so it's not as if you're coming to just watch videos and that's just no. It's an entire structure or architecture that has been tested. All right, so coming back to my slide, guys, let me just be done with my slide and then we'll take our questions and we will be good to go. Okay. Like I mentioned in the chat, I will take your questions. I just need you to listen and we'll be done. Yeah. So Oluwakemi, you're hearing multiple voices because I was playing a previous presentation from some of the consultants that we have working in or working on a data analytics project. Okay. So let me wrap up my slide and I will take all of our questions and we'll be good to go. Now, on the employability side, you get access to your CV and revamp session. You get access to your LinkedIn organization session. There is the navigating job market session. There is your interview preparation session. So let's say when you apply for a job and you have an interview ahead. So you just need to send a bill to our employability guys, that's our employability team, and they will schedule a preparation session with you where based off your job description, they will ask you questions of, oh, okay, tell me about a time where you did this. So can you introduce yourself to me? Why do you think you're a good fit for this job? How are you going to contribute to this organization? So all of that is just now preparing you towards your actual interview. Okay, so moving forward, you get access to a reference letter, an international reference letter, because Amdari is registered in both the UK and Canada. All right, so moving to my next point, you get on the job support. You get access to your weekly mentorship sessions with your specialist. So let's say you are a data analyst or a data scientist. You get stand-up sessions where if you have issues or if you have a bug, you can come and meet your mentor and say, oh, what do you think I should do? Have you done this before? Have you seen this before? And they will be able to guide you effectively. All right, so let me just move on to my next slide and we will be done. So guys, we have a cohort starting on the 10th of May. I'll be providing us feedback on that. But there's another additional thing that Amdari also offers that I did not point out. So we have a website. If you go to your browser, if you're using Safari or Chrome, and just type amdari.io, it takes you to something like this. Now, let me go to my profile and just click on my profile with Amdari. Now, this is just the dashboard, but on the project side of things, you get access to, let me click on all projects. You see the projects that you have that you can work on to guess what experience. That's one. Then there is the portfolio side of things. So guys, if you're looking for how to get, let me click on my portfolio side. So apologies that I'm just clicking on a lot of things. Right. So when you get onboarded with Amdari, you would have access to all of this. So this is my profile. I am a data scientist. So these are my tools and all of the stuff that I have utilized. And what I just need to do is to come back here and share this, copy this link and attach it either in my CV or if I am adding it to my LinkedIn as my portfolio profile. So you get access to doing this by just filling a form. So if I come back here and I want to edit this, okay, you have the liberty to do this. So if I even click on my LinkedIn profile, it's going to take me directly to my LinkedIn profile. Now, another thing is the aspect of what? The job board. So you can just come here, type in the job, type in the location, and guys, you don't just apply. In your, what's it called? In your employability sessions that you have, they would teach you how to pick out keywords from a particular job description and include it in your CV when you're applying for a job. And there are AI tools that you can leverage to ensure that you're not manually doing this and it's taking so much time. Now we have the learn page also, whereby if you're trying to refresh your knowledge as regard data science, data analytics, data engineering, you can just click on any of the crash courses whilst you are preparing or whilst you are working on projects. Okay, like I've been mentioning, and I want to reiterate, Amdari is a work experience project-based program. So you're coming to work on projects, right, from our business partners, whilst being with us. That's the duration that you are with us. So you should have done, or you should have taken a course, or you have a baseline understanding of how to use the Excel, how to use Power BI and stuff like that. But even if they're like tools that you've used previously, but you want to refresh your memory, that is why the Learn page is there. Again, it is a project-based experience. We're not coming to teach you print hello world if you're a data scientist, or coming to teach you, oh, this is what elicitation means, or this is what requirement gathering means. No, you're coming strictly to work on project. And the way this program is designed, the entire architecture is for you to find that balance between the employability side and what? And the technical competence side of things. Okay, so we have a course starting on the 10th of May, and the cost of registering this, we are running a discount right now for the first 20%. So instead of you paying £500, you get to pay £390 for the 3 months work experience. So we run this on a 3 months and 6 months basis. All right, so you can see for data analytics, data science, data engineering, business analysis, project management, right? We run on a 3 months and 6 month basis. But because of the peculiarity of the cybersecurity program, where we have security operations center, that's SOC, we have ethical hacking and pen testing, we have governance, risk, and compliance, you get to have a 3 months renewal fee, because there are some persons that would say, oh, I have experience in GRC, in information security and compliance, so I just want to do GRC first, then I want to come back to do SOC, and that's like a popular aspect in the cybersecurity domain. So we run this on a 3 month and a 6 month basis, and we have a discount currently running for 20%. So I know you have questions. When I'm done with my slides, I'm wrapping up now. I will take all of your questions and we would call it a day. Okay, so guys, to make payments, all you need to do, you can see this link on my slide. My colleague would also be sending it to the chat. This link that you can see here, just click on it. So it takes you to this page. Now on this page, you can come and just look at it, scroll down. We have chat with Amdari if you want to speak with us. There's the payment registration form. Let's say when you make payments, you have to come back to fill this form. And when you scroll down, you would see on a 3 month basis for data analytics, on a 6 month basis for data analytics. It's a very intuitive page. And let's say I want to go with 3 months data analytics work experience program, and I click on it. All right. Let's say I click on it. It takes me directly to this site. And you have the interesting thing is you don't get to pay just once. You can pay on a instrumental, or more like on an instrumental basis for both the 3 months and the 6 months. So you just need to select the plan that works best for you. So it means if, let's say, you're going for a 3 months basis, at the end of the first month, you make another payment. At the end of the second month, you make another payment, because we know that Amdari is offering a lot, right, in terms of what your employability side of things and your technical side of things. And we want to ensure that as much or as many people get access to this. So what you just need to do is now click on what? Secure internship. And then let's say I click on this plan, then I click on secure internship. You just now need to proceed. So it will give you an overview of, oh, your next payment is due by this time, right? Your upper payment is due by this time, and you can proceed to make payments. Okay, so that's not all. When you've made payments, you just now need to come back to that front page that I was telling you, where there was a form, where you have this form. You just need to come and click on this form because it is necessary, right? So you don't make payments and then you forget to fill the form. So when you click on this form, it takes you to what? To this page. Right, so just click on it and you can fill in your details that, oh, this is my first name, this is my last name, this is my email. That the email will be utilized for our Amdari platform, because when you register, you get only the limited functionalities. But because you are now registered for the Remote Apprenticeship Virtual Experience Program, you have access to all the premium features that Amdari is offering. So guys, let me come back to my slide and I can take your questions. So are we excited about what Amdari is offering? I would need our responses at this point. I want to take our questions at this point. All right, because you trying to find, like I have mentioned, you trying to find a balance between the employability side of things and between your technical side is extremely, extremely dicey. That is why we've come up with this structure to ensure that, whilst you are solving a problem, whilst you are trying to deploy heaven and earth, and your skills as a data scientist, data analyst, project manager, and all of that, you are what? You are now subconsciously, or I would say intentionally, grooming your employability skills. You would have to make a presentation. You would have to work with your team members. You would have to speak up. You'd have to do your research. Recall I mentioned, they are coming strictly to work on projects across different domains. So even if there are domains that you have not worked on before, or let's say the finance sector, and all your life has been in health or in entertainment, you would now be intentional about doing your research, about asking your mentor that, what do you think I should do in this scenario? Or what strategies do you think, or what are the particular metrics and KPIs that people in the finance industry consider, so I can go and look them up and infuse them into my analysis that will be crucial to me solving the problem that I was given by the client. Okay, so at this point, I will be taking our questions and we would wrap up for this session. All right, so guys, let me just go back to the chat and check. Absolutely, they're real life projects. So let's see. Okay, can you copy the link and paste in your browser? Because like I mentioned, all you need to do for the slides, the recording, and the exclusive job content that you'll be getting will be sent to your email. You just need to fill the attendance form that's sent into the chat. So somebody's saying, do you really have project management based work experience, because we've been emphasizing on data? Now, data was used in my analogy, and because I am a data scientist, I am biased. But let me share you a project management scenario that these guys are working on. Let's see. I used data analytics work experience. So let's look at project management. I believe you can see this screen. These guys are building an awesome website. Let me see. Let's just scroll down. They had a demo previously, but I can't share this with you due to privacy reasons. But let's look at the project, right? Let's look at the project brief. That document is somewhere. Yes, exactly. So this is the problem overview, right? So because they've not gone live with the project, it's just internal presentation with the respective stakeholders and partners that we have. That's why I cannot share that particular presentation. But look at this. This is the business overview that was presented to them to solve. And trust me, when this website goes live, you are going to see it, right? So the goal was, how can we help recruiters? Or these clients came to us with the problem that, our processes in terms of recruiting, right? So this is a recruitment organization, but because of the trend in AI, we want to leverage artificial intelligence in streamlining our hiring process. So we want to create, do we have the recruiter persona? Do we have the user persona? Do we have people that are just coming to view requirements and job listings? And we want a scenario whereby when people upload their jobs, or rather their CV, right? So it ranks the contents of their CVs and available jobs that are listed there, right? And just like more like, if you're in data science, a semantic similarity, and produces a score that would now say, you are a good fit for this job. But on a non-technical basis, it's more like I am a user. I want to get a job. I just come to the site and upload my CV. Bam. And then from uploading my CV, there is a load page analysis that now shows that, oh, these are the jobs that you are a good fit for. All right. So if you look at it critically, there is, okay, what exactly are the MVPs? Because there's a timeline for this particular project, and they'll be rolling out different features on like a basis that is specified by the PO and all of that. So this is like an overview of the project, what is expected, the deliverables, and let me see if I can find a presentation. Now, this project mentorship that you can see, it's more like they come to a session with their mentor, and then she gives them directions that, oh, as a PM, you're meant to do this. As a BA, you're meant to do this. This is what you should do. This is what you are responsible for this project as the PM. If it doesn't get to completion, then there's a problem. If by the deadline you're not there yet, there's a problem. Then this is what we call our mentorship sessions that I earlier responded to, or that I earlier highlighted. So we have different professionals that have experience in diverse domains. So we tell them that, or they come to us and they speak with our interns or our consultants as regards to, this is what I did. So you can see this topic, the power of soft skills. You can see, oh, strategies that you would utilize in getting a job. Then this says mastering job interviews. So there's a track record of us not only teaching you or helping you scale the technical side of things by working on projects, but you getting to learn from the experiences of people that have gone ahead of you. So if I look at this, let's look at this, let's observe what's there. How to position yourself in a global market. You'd have a live call where you can ask questions and you will get feedback. And yeah, that's more like how your mentorship session works. So this is for acing technical interviews, and this is for your interview mastery bootcamp. All right. So does that answer your question, Oluwakemi? So Oluwakemi is saying, okay, I just finished my master's on project management, but I have zero skills. Will the 3 months work experience be enough? Now, this is critical because it depends on you. When you come into the program for that 3 months, the difference between the 3 months and the 6 months is, for the 6 month basis, you get to work on more projects. So what I would advise you now is signing up for the 3 months if that's what your goal is right now. And when you get through that experience, then you know that I have acquired sufficient knowledge, because as a project manager, your skill, you having technical side of things that, oh, I have experience managing a project is very, very crucial, right? Your own scope of work is not on the theoretical side of things, because you would be handling people, you would be interacting with them. All right. So that's what I would advise you. I would want you to sign up for the 3 months basis. And then when you come into the program and you go over that, so you would be the one to attest that, oh, I have gathered this amount of knowledge by working on these projects. All right. And I feel that, oh, if I increase my subscription, or if I now turn to the 6 month basis, it just now gives you more projects that you would be working on. Okay. So guys, do we have more questions before we call it a day? Like I mentioned, all you have to do is fill the form that's been sent in by my colleague, and all of the resources that we utilize would be emailed to you. Again, emphasis on in your everyday life, right? You need to focus on honing your employability style. It is very, very crucial. It is very, very important. So do not just focus on, oh, I'm getting this degree, or that's absolutely important. Or how can you translate that degree to problem solving, to actual value for this organization? So guys, do we have any more questions? Do we have any more questions? I'll just give time for us to fill the attendance form, and we will be calling it a day. So let's see. We have Adiola, Antonia, Emmanuel, and a host of others on the call. Are we good? Have we learned something today? I need a reaction if we learn something good today. Can I get a reaction if we learn something today? All right. So thank you, Emmanuel. Awesome. Let me just stop presenting. Thank you, Peter, and others on the call. Again, if you have questions, I'm giving us time to ask. Now, subsequently, we'll be having other sessions, and we even have what we call our clarity sessions, whereby you can jump on a call and have a one-on-one conversation with us as regards, oh, I want to do this, but I just need clarity before proceeding. So you have that liberty to do that with us. And again, like I mentioned, our vision is to close that gap here at Amdari. Now, we know that a lot of persons have learned, but in terms of what? In terms of that exposure, they don't really have it, and it's lacking. It's not really beneficial to them in their job applications and all of that. Amdari is providing you that floor to hone your skill. So I look forward to having us joining subsequent sessions. I believe that I will be seeing Oluwakemi in our next project management program. Okay, and I wish us the very best. Have a lovely weekend. So I'll just give some time for us to fill the attendance form, and yeah, we'll call it a day.